today, we've got the second roster update of NBA 2K26. Starting off with the featured players, Donovan Mitchell goes +1 to a 94 overall. In the absence of Darius Garland, Spida has been stepping it up, scoring the ball at a very high level. Last night, I think he had around 20 in the fourth against Houston. Cavs still lost, and Donovan was struggling before that, but overall, he strung together some great performances for Cleveland, and this is well deserved. Oh yeah, the Pistons, I know they're in for some big updates. Cade Cunningham goes up 1. I thought he might get a little bit more love. He is now a 93 overall. The Pistons have looked incredible lately. Jalen Duren, I'm curious to see what his overall's looking like. That man has randomly added so much to his bag. We're gonna get Jalen Duren hezzy pools before GTA 6. The Hawks, another team that's had the injury bug. Trae Young's been out, but in his absence, they've actually played better, and Jalen Johnson has been at the helm of that. +2 overall for Jalen. He is now an 87. That's it for the featured players section. Now we're going to move on to just the overall player ratings for each roster. Starting off in the Western Conference with the Dallas Mavericks. No upgrade or downgrade for Cooper Flagg. Daniel Gafford goes -1 down to a 79. I'm surprised they didn't drop Clay a little more, all due respect. Najee Marshall goes +1 to a 77. He had dropped some in the last roster update. And Brandon Williams, a big +4. They need some guard help in Dallas. He's been delivering that. He's now a 77 overall. Musa Cease goes +4 to a 72. Here's how we'll do this. We'll go one West team, then one East team. So let's slide over to the Eastern Conference. We already talked about Jalen Johnson on the Atlanta Hawks. He's +2 to an 87. Risa Shea goes up 1. He is now a 79. Z-Rizzy started off the season a little bit tough, but has picked it up since. Mo Gay, he's had some moments for the Hawks. Played really well against the Lakers. Up 1 to a 75. Vit goes +2 to a 75. Asa Newell up 1 to a 74. And Keaton Wallace +2 to a 72. So no downgrades for the Atlanta Hawks. And I guess that's what you'd expect with the way they've been playing as of late. In the Western Conference, the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic stays at a 98. The way this dude's been playing, he's really pushing that 99 in my opinion. I'm kind of surprised he didn't get it. Jamal Murray goes -1 to an 86. Aaron Gordon up 1 to an 84. Valanciunas up 1, now a 79. P. Watt +2 to a 78. He just had a big time performance the other night, 30+ points. Julian Strawther -1 to a 73. Spencer Jones up 2, now a 69 overall. Back east, the Boston Celtics. Peyton Pritchard playing well. They need more production out of their guards. Anthony Simons kind of struggling. Pritchard up 1 to an 81. Luka Garza, the Garzilla, +3 to a 76. They need more out of their bigs. No KP anymore. Traded him away. Garza's been stepping up. Jordan Walsh, the greatest bald player in basketball history, +3 to a 73. And Hugo Gonzalez up 1 to a 71. I've seen Celtics fans saying a lot about Hugo Gonzalez. All right, my Golden State Warriors. I'm excited to get into this. So Jimmy doesn't go up or down. Steph stands pat at a 95. Steph had some big games, but a 95 is a really high overall, so I understand why they kept him there. Dang, Draymond. Yeah, his offensive production has been terrible. We know what you get with the playmaking, but oh my goodness. I mean, just the overall efficiency, it's bad. We know what Draymond brings defensively. Kuminga -2 to a 79, bro. We just need to trade Kuminga. That whole situation has been dragging on too long. Moses Moody up 1. Moses has been really good. He's now a 79. B Pods -1 to a 77. Will Richard goes up 1 to a 76 overall. That's my guy, man. Great role player. Buddy Hield goes -1 to a 75. Buddy has struggled to start the season shooting the ball. Usually he gets off to a hot start most seasons, but not this year. And Q Post goes +1 to a 75. Pat Spencer just had a huge performance the other night. That might have been last night. He's up 4 to a 73. Back east, the Brooklyn Nets. Mike Porter Jr. Man, an 84 overall for Michael Porter Jr. feels a little bit low, to be honest with you. The way he's been playing, Michael Porter Jr. has looked incredible for Brooklyn. Nick Claxton up 2 to an 82. Good rim protector for them. Cam Thomas stands pat. T-Man and Tyre Williams down an overall apiece. Noah Clowney goes up 1. Jalen Wilson and Tyrese Martin down 1. 1. Yegor Demon up 1. Drake Powell up 3. Both of them now 73 overalls. That's about it for the Nets. Don't have too much to say here. Haven't been watching much Brooklyn Nets basketball, to be totally honest with you. For the Rockets, Kevin Durant stays at a 93. The Goon, Alperen Şengün, stays the same. I thought maybe Şengün would see an upgrade. I thought he's been really great this year. Also thought maybe Jabari Smith would get something. Guess not. Reed Shepherd, though. Oh my goodness. I mean, night and day difference between how he looked the first couple games of the season and now. He's up 3 to a 79. Josh Okogie, solid role player for Houston. Does all the dirty work, the little things. He goes up 2 to a 77. The Charlotte Hornets. Yeah, I was expecting something from Con Knipple. I'm actually a little bit surprised LaMelo didn't go down in overall, but nonetheless, Con Knipple is up 3 to an 82. Miles Bridges and Colin Sexton go down in overall apiece. Ryan Calculator up 1 to a 79. Sion James had a good start to the season, drops down 1 to a 75. Trey Mann, down another one to a 74. I remember he used to be closer to an 80, like a 78, 79. Pat Connaughton up 1 to a 73. Get Pat Connaughton out of there, bro. He's too old to be playing for this young team. Los Angeles. James Harden didn't get anything? They gotta let James back in the 90 overall club. That's crazy. Kawhi and Harden stay the same overall. Kawhi's been hurt. Big Zoo -1 to an 86. Still a super high overall for Zubac. John Collins goes -3 to a 78. I mean, this Clippers team's been a disaster. Bradley Beal, he's out for the season. Brook Lopez goes down 1 to a 77. Chris Dunn goes up 1 to a 77. Chris Paul, he might have been better off retiring after last year, man. You light my fire. It's over with. Down 1 to a 75. +2 for Jordan Miller. He's a 73. Cam Christie and Kobe Sanders go up 2 overalls apiece, making both of them 70s. And that wraps up the Clips. Good luck to Clipper fans. Hope things get better for y'all. For Chicago, y'all see the Vucci main game winner. Trey Jones goes up 1 to a 79. Ayo Dosunmu up 1 to a 78. Jalen Smith's been good, man. I like him. He's up 2 to a 77. Isaac Okoro up 2 to a 76. Not so much here for Chicago, really. Now we'll move on to the Los Angeles Lakers. Bron just got back. Luka doesn't get any more upgrades. He's still a 97. Reeves stays at an 88. But how about dominating? Bro, an 82 at this point might be low for DA. He's been playing so very well. He'll get you 20 and 10 any night, which I did not expect. Jake LaRavia -1. He is now a 77 overall. Bronny went up! Oh! Bronny up 1 to a 69. That's the first time we've seen Bronny's overall change the entirety of his NBA career. So that's pretty exciting. I'm surprised 2K drops graphics on Twitter when guys' ratings change. I'm surprised they didn't do anything for Bronny. It would have been good promotion, I would think. But anyway, moving on to the Cavs. We talked about Spider Mitchell. Evan Mobley down 1 to an 88. I mean, Evan's been taking more shots because, Darius Garland hasn't been playing, but his efficiency hasn't been there, so I get it. Up 1 for Jared Allen. He's now an 85. He's been averaging about 15 on the season. D Hunt, his mid-range game, smooth as butter, up 1 to an 81. Jalen Tyson up 2 to a 76. Craig Porter Jr. +1 to a 74. Larry Nance goes -1 to a 73. Naquan Tomlin +2 to a 71. Yeah, I mean, Naquan kind of came out of nowhere, and he has been pretty solid for the Cavs. He plays hard. He was getting into it with KD last night. Tyrese Proctor up 1 to a 70. All right, back west, we got the Memphis Grizzlies. This team's been a disaster. And Ja Morant goes -3. Man, Ja now an 86 overall. It doesn't seem like he wants to be in Memphis. That is very clear for sure. Santi Aldama up 1. He is now a 79. KCP down 1 to a 75. Man, KCP. Vince Williams up 3 to a 74. No said Coward update? I thought he'd get more, man. He's looked really good. Yeah, it seems like sometimes they just miss some players, and I'm sure there's other players that 2K's missed that I haven't even really spoke on here. Let's move on to the Detroit Pistons. Oh, man, I'm excited for this. So, Cade Cunningham goes up 1. We talked about that. Jalen Duren up 3 to an 87. Man, I don't know. I feel like, and this sounds crazy because he's kind of just came out of nowhere this season, but you almost can make an argument that he should be a 90 overall. Danish Jenkins Jenkins. Bro, +9 might be the biggest we've ever seen. +9 from a 70 to a 79 in one update. Karis LeVert goes +2 to a 78. Duncan Robinson up 2. I mean, the Pistons just clicking on all cylinders. Ron Holland does go down 1 to a 76. Paul Reed, B-ball Paul, good old basketball Paul, had a 30 ball or close to it the other night. He's up 3 to a 75. Vontae Green up 1 to a 73. Next team we got is the Wolves. Anthony Edwards stays the same, as does JR, but Rudy Gobert goes up 1. He is now an 84 overall. Dante DiVincenzo up 1. He's getting back to it. It's been a little bit slow for Dante DiVincenzo since leaving Golden State, or well, since leaving New York. My bad. He was great in New York, but he's getting back in his groove this season. Now a 79, and yeah, that's it for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Not much there at all. Indiana Pacers, this season has been, oh man, for Indiana, they have been awful. Pascal Siakam goes down 1 to an 88 overall. Jarris Walker down 1 to a 75. I'm sure Pacers fans were hoping for more out of Jarris this season. Tony Bradley goes up 1 to a 74. Yeah, a lot of center opportunities open here in Indiana because they just, after losing Miles Turner, that center spot is kind of cooked for them. New Orleans Pelicans, speaking of a team who has kind of had a disaster season, look no further than New Orleans. But there have been some bright spots. You talk about Trey Murphy, who goes up 3 to an 83 overall, but really the man of the hour here, Derek Queen. The Pels made a boneheaded move, trading away their pick to get Derek Queen, but at least Derek Queen's really good at basketball. He goes up 6 to an 80 overall. He's looked awesome as of late. Even Messi goes down 2 to a 77. Jose Alvarado up a couple, up 2 to a 77. Sadiq Bey up 1 to a 77. Jeremiah Fierce down 1 to a 77. Man, everybody on the Pels is a 77 overall. That's the moral of the story here. My guy Kevon Looney, hate to see it, down 1 to a 73. Monte Morris down 1 to a 72. And Micah Peavy up 2. He is now a 71 overall. All right, next here in the East will be the Miami Heat. The Heat have been good this season, man, without Tyler Hero even in the lineup. Norman Powell, he's been awesome. I don't know why the Clippers traded him away for a stapler and a signed picture of Monte Morris, but they did. Kel'el Ware goes up 2 to an 81 overall. Yeah, Kel'el's looked good as of late. Jaime Jaquez up 1 to an 81. Pelle Larson up 2 to a 77. Jovic and Fontecchio go up 1 apiece to a 76. And Drew Smith up 1 to a 74. Nothing too crazy for the Heat, but some solid upgrades. Nobody went down in overall. Can't be mad at that if you're a Heat fan, I wouldn't think. All right, next up in the West, we got OKC. This team's been rolling. They look like they're very much poised to repeat here. Isaiah Hartenstein goes up 1. He is now an 83 overall. Isaiah Joe up 1 to an 80. Same for AJ Mitchell. I mean, their role players are just elite. There's not much more that really needs to be said. We'll move on over to the Eastern Conference once again. Our next team being the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis just went down for them. Going to be interesting to see how they weather that storm. Ryan Rollins goes up 2 to an 81. Ryan Rollins has been incredible for the Bucks. Where would they be without him? Bobby Portis hadn't been a great year for him. He's down 1 to a 79. Kuz up 1. He's kind of been up and down this season. He's up to a 78. Gary Trent -1 to a 76. That's it for Milwaukee. Let's slide back over to the West. We got Phoenix. Suns haven't been too bad in the absence of Kevin Durant. Devin Booker's up 1 to a 93 overall. Dylan Brooks up 1 as well. He's now an 82. Grayson Allen shooting the ball super well. He's up 4. So now an 82 for GA. Nobody's ever called him that before. Mark Williams up 1. He is now an 80 overall. Colin Gillespie up 1 to a 77. Ryan Dunn goes down 1 to a 76. Nick Richards down 1 to a 75. That's it for the Phoenix Suns. They have been really good, especially considering Jalen Green has only played like 1 game, right? He's had injury stuff. So on to the New York Knicks. Mikal Bridges up 1 to a 75 overall. I said 75. My bad, Mikal. Up 1 to an 85 overall. Jordan Clarkson up 1 to a 77. And Landry Shamet has looked really good in the Knicks' second unit. He's up 4 to a 77. That's it for New York. Back over to the West. The Portland Blazers. Denny Avdia +3. He's an 87. Almost past his name for best player on the team. The Blazers have had some injury issues and Avdia has really stepped up. Shaedon Sharpe goes up 2 to an 83. And that's it for Portland. Only 2 players changing the rating. Sharpe has been really good, and he hasn't even been playing a ton of minutes either. So props to him. Over in Philly, or no, we haven't done Orlando. Orlando, Paolo Banchero goes down 1 to an 89 overall. Yeah, Banchero, it hasn't been a great season for him, at least for his standards. D-Bane has gotten back on track, though. He's up 2 to an 83. Jalen Suggs up 1 to an 83. Tristan Da Silva up 2 to a 78. Tyus Jones just hasn't been good for Orlando. Down 1 to a 73. Man, Tyus Jones overall has dropped badly, for sure. San Antonio out west. Wemby's out now. Fox just got back. Harrison Barnes has looked really good. He's had some big-time performances. Been super consistent for them. Up 1 to a 79. Kelly Olynyk up 1 to a 77. That's it for San Antonio. Not too much there. Philadelphia. This will be an interesting team to check out. Tyrese Maxey up 1 to a 90. Mad Max needs to be at least a 91. Or Embiid needs to drop because Maxey's the best player on this team. And they still got Embiid listed higher. So that's crazy. VJ Edgecombe goes down 1. Slowed down a little bit after his hot start. He's now an 80 overall. Andre Drummond up 2 to a 78. Bro, I never expected Andre Drummond to start hitting threes the way he's been. Jared McCain goes down 4. It's been rough since he got back from injury. He's now a 76. Justin Edwards up 1 to a 76. Trenton Watford up 2 to a 76. And Bona down 1 to a 73 overall. Sacramento Kings, man, this team's been a disaster this year. Zach LaVine goes down 2 to an 84. DeRozan down 1 to an 84. No more Russ Love. He stays at an 81. Malik Monk down 1 to a 79. Diaz down 2 to a 77. Yeah, Russ has been the better point guard in Sacramento this year for sure. Drew Eubanks up 2 to a 76. Bro, the Kings got to trade everybody and start over. Toronto Raptors. Bro, talk about a team that's been on a win streak. Maybe overshadowed a little bit by Detroit's win streak, but they've been awesome too. Scotty Barnes up 1 to an 87. Brandon Ingram up 1 to an 86. +2 for Quickly. He had a rough start. He's up now to an 81. Jakob Poeltl up 1 to an 80. Mamu up 2 to a 77. Jamal Shed up 1 to a 75. Yeah, Jamal can really play some defense, man. Over in Utah, Lauri Markkanen has been destroying it. I need my Warriors to make the call. He needs to get traded. Even if it's not to my Warriors, get Lauri Markkanen to a contender. Keontae George has been incredible too. Up 1 to an 83. Isaiah Collier up 1 to a 79. Ace Bailey up 2 to a 75. Same thing for Svi Mykhailiuk. Taylor Hendricks goes down 1 to a 74. And that's it for the Jazz, leaving us with one last team here, and that is going to be the Washington Wizards. C-Mac goes up 1 to an 80 overall. Get that man out of Washington. Keyshawn George -1. He had a hot start, slowed down a little bit. He's now an 80 overall. -1 for Bilal Coulibaly. He's a 78. Cash Money Chris -2 down to a 76 overall. Get Chris Middleton out of Washington too. Cam Whitmore up 1 to a 76. And that will do it for this roster update. Pretty fun one, man. I think the moral of the story is Bronny went up 1 overall. No, in all seriousness, the Pistons were definitely the big winner of this roster update. That's going to do it for the video. Like, subscribe. We love basketball. Have a great day. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.